Hello everyone. Welcome to today's session. So yesterday, if you all remember, we have seen how to configure the repository service and the integration service. And we had created the repository on the client so that we can start our work of creating the source and the target and start creating the mapping objects so that we can execute our ETL jobs. So today my agenda will be whenever you start this work, you should first understand what the source is, what the target is, and on that source and target, you should have a confidence that what these connection objects that you need to create. So for that, just to make sure our understanding is clear, I'm going to create two separate blank databases on Oracle. So let me connect to the Oracle system using my admin password or admin credentials. So as of now, I'm not connected to any of the Informatica client. I am just pointing to my RDBMS system where I'm supposed to create the source and the target databases. So for that, let me create the two dummy user spaces where I will not have any table as of now. So create user. So I believe you are familiar with these commands as of now. So I'm going to create two databases as of now. One is for source and one is for the target. In industry practices, you are going to have these sources and target predefined. You are not supposed to create it for every time. But just to clarify our questions or our doubt regarding the connection object, I'm going to create this because this should clarify what are the objects I need to create when I need to connect to any source or a target, which are the outsiders for Informatica. So I created, let's see what happened is, so I have not given what permissions I want to give to this user. So that's a mistake I did. So that's the reason user got created, but privileges are not given. So that's why you can see here, the first user got created, but granting of privilege was not done. And similarly, the second user got created, but privileges were not given correctly. So I am not going to create this user again. So I'm getting this command out. Now, so now it will grant the permission to both the users. Now, if you see, if I go inside these two users, so let me first go inside the source user. And if I try to see what are the tables available in this database, you can see there is no row selected, and then the same thing will be there for the target databases. No rows selected, you can see that. So now I have two databases created, but both the databases do not have any data. I am going to log into the Informatica client right now. So let me open the designer client. So you have seen yesterday I have created this new repository. I'm going to connect to that using the administrator credentials. And you remember I created this blank folder, but as of now, no data is available to it. Now, my second step will be how I can create all the data on the source database. So in the source database, Informatica gives a sample DDL DML file. So on that, I'm going to use that same Oracle file, sample file, to populate all my tables along with the data. So just to show where this sample data is, so I need to go to the location. So this is the location where my Informatica is installed. On this, you can see the sample files are kept into PowerCenter client bin. In this location, you can see these all sample files are given by the installation. All these are based on different RDBMS system, which I can use or I can connect, and I can fetch the data or load the data. So I'm going to use this particular sample, which is meant for Oracle, because right now I have created my source data into Oracle database. So if you see this particular file, you can see what exactly this is going to do. So this is going to drop these tables if they are created, and then it will create the table with all the correct keys into it. And at the end, you can see there will be some insert statements. So after all the table creations, you can see there are the insert creations on all these tables which I have created above. So this particular SQL file you can go and import directly on the SQL plus prompt. And if you want to use Informatica to populate all these commands, that also you can do. So for that, I am going to use Informatica Designer. On this, go to the target designer. There is a command called target generate and execute SQL. So now you can see this is grayed out. So to enable this, I need to first create a dummy table, or rather dummy target. So you can create using any database. I don't mind that, because this is only to enable the option for generate and execute SQL. So now once I have this in my editorial area for target designer, this command is enabled. As of now, I have not saved this because this is not required to be saved in the database. I just created it to get this menu enabled. Select on this. Here you can mention the SQL file which you supposed to execute. So as I shown you, this is available in this particular location where I'm going right now, and I'm selecting the sample ora.sql file. I'm going to simply use this for executing the SQL file. I'm not taking the option for generate, execute, generate the SQL file, or edit the SQL file, or generate and execute. I'm simply using the execute SQL file. But where this SQL file will get executed, for that I need to connect to a database. So if you see here, ODBC data source I have not yet created. I have simply created one database on the Oracle, but this database is not having any ODBC connection. So you can create the ODBC connection from directly Informatica, or you can use the native ODBC connection, which you can create using start Oracle, you can expand and see where the ODBC connection is. So on configuration and migration, you will see Microsoft ODBC administrator. Here you can add the connection objects or the ODBC connections. So I am using the driver for Oracle. Say finish. So give some name. So I'm giving the name as let's say my user is demo RNW SRC. So just to be the same name, I'm giving demo RNW SRC underscore native ODBC connection. This is the name I am giving. TNS name for me in this machine is only one, that is Oracle, and username is this. So I'm keeping it as it is. Click on OK. So now this ODBC connection is created. I also will need another ODBC connection for target. So let me add that as well. Say finish. Here it has to be target, just to make sure the name is correct. So this is the name I have given for the target ODBC connection. Oh, I missed something. So let me again do that. TNS name is, for me, it has to be the Oracle service name. And this is my user ID. Click on OK. So you can see these two connection objects I have created outside the Informatica system. So click on OK. Now again I am going back. Sorry. So now again I'm going back to Informatica. Here if I go and try to connect, now you can see I can see these two connection objects. So these are the two connection objects I created from the native ODBC connection administration. So now I am going to connect to source database, and the username for this is demo underscore RNW underscore SRC. Password is also same. And if you click on connect, this will show that it is connected. That means now my database connection is all done. And if I have seen earlier, on this particular database, there is no rows as of now. Once I execute the SQL file, you can see that the execution is all done. And once the execution is done, if I go back and execute the same command, you can see that there are 12 tables got created, and all these tables are having the data. So I can show you that for one table, select star from, let's say I do it from for table employees. So you can see there are records available in all the tables. So I have shown you for one table. Now this work is done, so I can get rid of this dummy. So just right click on this and delete it from the folder. And now you are all set to start your first transformation. So always remember, designer is one of the client which uses the native ODBC connections, so which we have already created. But remember that when I will jump onto workflow manager, I have to create Informatica's connection object. So before I start on any of the transformation, let me jump onto workflow manager and create the connection objects within Informatica, which will be used by the workflow. So on workflow manager, this is the UI. On this, there you can see a pull down menu called connections. As of now, I need to create the connection for relational database, but you can create the connection to any other queue or FTP or application or the loader. So right now I'm clicking on the relational. You can see there is no connection object as of now. Click on new. Here you can see all the different connection objects which you can create. So I am going to create for Oracle. Give some name. So for example, I give the name as demo RNW SRC. Instead of native, this is an Informatica's connection object. So I am giving Infa ODBC connection. So this is the name I am giving. Username is same. It will be demo RNW SRC. Password is just a minute. So password is same, demo underscore RNW underscore SRC, and the connection string is Oracle. Click on OK. So you can see one object got created under Oracle. Let me create it for another target database as well, which I will be using in my transformations. Again, select Oracle. Let me name this now as demo RNW TRG Infa ODBC connection. Username is this, password is this, connection string is Oracle, and click on OK. So you can see I have the two connection objects which are Informatica connection objects. So these are the two objects which I'm going to use when I am working on Workflow Manager. And on Designer, I can use directly the native ODBC connections. So far, we have learned only about the ODBC connections. I hope this tutorial will be helpful to you and to clarify your doubt about the connection objects. In the following videos, we are going to talk about the transformations where we will use these connection objects. I hope this is useful. If you like it, do press on the like button. If you have any questions, feel free to put your comments. I will revert to you. Thank you.